What's up, guys? Today I'm going to do a really quick review, kind of a first impressions video on the DJI Osmo Plus. So I just got this yesterday and I tested it indoors yesterday for a little while and I was really disappointed with the low light. I knew that this camera was not going to be good in low light. That's not why I got it. It's a good camera for really bright sunny days and sports like skateboarding, outdoor activity, riding bikes, stuff like that. It's not a good camera to sit on a tripod and film indoors. I film with the A7S II, so I'm really spoiled when it comes to light. You know, I can go out in the woods with no lights and film at night. So I'm not used to a camera that can't film in low light. But the thing about it is, usually with the A7S II, when you're filming indoors, you can do color grading and you can mess around with the video a lot and make it look good. But when you're filming with the DJI Osmo indoors, you can't do a lot of color grading because you lose a lot of the detail and it starts getting really grainy and just looking so bad and so dark. So I was using a really flat picture profile. I was using the D-Log. It's DJI's log profile. It's just so different from S-Log with the A7S II or Sony cameras. I had a lot of trouble color grading this footage. Now today, I went out and I filmed outdoors, but it was so cloudy, and by the time I could get outside, it was about 4 or 5, and right now where it's winter time, it's starting to get dark around that time, so we still didn't have much light in these clips, so it's still kind of a low light test on that as well. I'm really excited to see what this camera looks like in bright sunlight, because all the videos I've seen from this camera in the daylight are much better than anything in the low light. It didn't hold on to the colors as good as with S-Log with Sony. I turned the saturation way up with the D-Log profile and I just still didn't get a lot of saturation back into the image. I'm gonna have to go back and edit it and just throw more saturation in there. For some reason, my computer cannot play the 4K footage off the Osmo as well as it can the A7S II. I never have trouble in Premiere with my footage in 4K from the A7S II. I think the Osmo films a little bit bigger 4K files, and it just makes my computer just have such a hard time through the editing process. So I almost have to just downsize them immediately to 1080 and then work on them in post. I'm also really excited because I bought the Z-axis arm that goes on the Osmo. The same time I bought the Osmo, it hasn't come in yet. So I'm really excited about that because that's going to take the bounce out of the video. And that's going to make this video probably more stable than any gimbal I've ever used. It's very stable. It's just got that little bounce in the footage. And once I have that Z-axis in there, this footage is going to be super stable. I can run, I can walk without thinking about the way I'm running or the way I'm walking. I can think about what I'm filming. You've got your phone there, and it's going to be way easier than any other setup I've ever had for skateboarding or daylight video. Another thing I really want to use this camera for is videos where you're following somebody and they're talking, you know, they're saying a monologue or something like that. Just videos where I or somebody else could just walk and someone could hold the camera who doesn't necessarily know anything about filming, and it could look good. So I haven't tested the focus yet on any other people, but I have tested the focus as far as touch focus, and it worked pretty well. So if you can touch that person on the screen on your phone and they can come into focus and it can hold that focus, then that's going to be really cool. I haven't tested that out yet, but I'm really excited. In a future video, I'm going to do an updated review on this after I test it a little bit more. I just wanted to put something out there because I didn't see a lot of reviews on this camera. It's kind of like a camera that people forgot about. I mean, it's a pretty cool invention. It's a camera from a drone company that's very stable, very light, and films 4K footage in and 120 frames per second in 1080. So it's a decent camera. Now I'm talking about the X3 camera. There's also an X5, which is a better camera. It's a micro four thirds sensor, so it's gonna be a bigger sensor, better in low light, and it's gonna have better focusing. I don't have that. It's pretty much as expensive as like a full frame camera, so I'm a little bit hesitant about getting that. If you guys have the X5 and it's way better for some reason, let me know in the comment section below, because all the videos I've seen from the X5 seem to be just as flat and boring as the videos that I've seen from the Osmo. The thing is, with the A7S II, it's got this crazy dynamic range where you can go out in the woods and film trees, and they just really pop out. It's like, it looks almost 3D when the image just looks kind of flat that I've filmed so far with the Osmo. And it's also because there wasn't a lot of light. There's not a lot of sunlight today, so that could be a lot of it. But it just seems kind of flat and boring, and I can't seem to color grade it right. I just need practice color grading this footage, because I have seen some people that have amazing videos with the DJI Osmo. So I've got to work on my color grading. It's just totally different. If I do the same thing that I do to my Sony footage, it just doesn't work at all. It's just like super, super dark shadows, and it just doesn't seem to hold up in those shadows. It doesn't retain a lot of the detail from the shadows and from the highlights. It just blew out the sky completely if I exposed properly in the shadows. So I've got to work on the way I film. I've got an ND filter for it as well. So I'm really excited about a bright sunny day. I haven't seen the sun in like 3 weeks now. So I'm super excited about a day when there's sunlight. So if you enjoy this kind of content, it's normally not me just ranting about my camera problems. I usually do tutorials or reviews, stuff like that. Then hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.